5 launches, 4 countries, 3 continents, 2 suitcases, 1 month. I've packed my bags and we're kicking things off here in San Francisco. Samsung sets the tone every year. They go first and everyone else responds. Now, the question is always the same. Did Samsung push forward or are they playing it safe? Hi, I'm MICHAELJOSH, your gadget matchmaker, and over the last decade, I've made it my job to show people around the world that tech can be easy, fun, and exciting. On this channel, I give you special access to the gadgets I review, the places I go, the things that bring me joy, and all the interesting people I get to meet along the way. So, if you're shopping for a new Android smartphone, give this channel a like and subscribe, and I'll help you find the right one to match your needs. This is the Samsung Galaxy S26 Series. Here they are, the usual 3, S26, S26 Plus, and S26 Ultra. 6.3, 6.7, and 6.9 inches respectively. Samsung is leaning into a more unified design language this year. Last year, the S25 and S25 Plus were more rounded, while the S25 Ultra had sharper corners. More note-like. If you know, you know. This year, they've got the same corner radius. Colors are also the same across the lineup. It's cohesive, even if it's not bold. Now, let's talk about these colors. Cobalt Violet is the hero, and Samsung loves purple, so this feels very on brand. In person, it's a bit dull, almost gray, depending on the light. You've also got Sky Blue, black, and white. And then there are 2 online exclusive colors, Silver Shadow and Pink Gold. They're nice, but I'm still waiting for Samsung to do something more vibrant, like what Apple did with the surprisingly popular orange iPhone 17 Pro. The S26 Ultra is where the biggest changes happened. It's the slimmest Galaxy Ultra ever at 7.9 millimeters, down from 8.2 on the S25 Ultra. And it's lighter too, at 214 grams. Part of how Samsung achieved this is by switching from titanium to what they're calling light armor aluminum. Though in hand, it doesn't feel dramatically thinner or lighter than last year. Now, if that sounds like a downgrade, Apple did the same thing. The iPhone 17 Pro also ditched titanium for aluminum last year. Both companies are saying the same thing. Aluminum is lighter, dissipates heat better, and gives more flexibility with colors. Oh, and fun fact, that's also what made Apple's orange iPhone 17 Pro possible. Titanium is harder to anodize into more vibrant colors, so this is telling us that something more bold and punchier could be down the line. Still, I want to spend more time with it. Aluminum scratches easier than titanium, and at ultra prices, the material you're holding matters. Samsung has always made some of the best displays in the business. No surprises there, but the S26 Ultra has something I've never seen before on a phone. But first, the basics. Samsung says this year the panel is sharper and more color accurate thanks to processing upgrades under the hood. Okay, now for the fun stuff. Debuting exclusively on the S26 Ultra is what Samsung is calling the world's first privacy display on a smartphone. You know those privacy screen protectors you can buy that make it hard for the person next to you to see what's on your screen? Imagine that, but built in. No need for a screen protector. It works at a pixel level to restrict viewing angles. So if someone's looking over your shoulder on a train or in a coffee shop, they can't see what you're doing. And the best part, if you have someone nosy sitting beside you, you can double tap on the home button and automatically won't be able to see my screen.
Show me your password. Show me your password. Come on.
Or set it to activate only with specific apps. So maybe you want it on for your banking app and messages, but off for YouTube. But how does it affect the screen's quality? Well, when you turn it on, it's virtually indistinguishable. But of course, when you set it to max mode, then obviously it's a little bit more sensitive and it'll get darker as you kind of turn it. But for my privacy, I think it's worth it. Many times, new features can be gimmicky. So I really love that this solves a real world, everyday problem. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Last year, Samsung did something that fans loved. They put the same Snapdragon 8 Elite chip in all three S25 phones. It didn't matter if you bought the base or the Ultra, you got the same processor. This year, they've split it up again. The S26 Ultra gets the new Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy, a customized 3nm chip that Samsung says is significantly faster across the board. AI, graphics, everyday performance. Meanwhile, S26 and S26 Plus get Samsung's own Exynos 2600. Now, to be fair, this is a 2nm chip. That's actually a more advanced manufacturing process than what's in the Ultra. So on paper, there's room to be optimistic. But here's the thing. The fact remains that Samsung reserves the Qualcomm chip for the Ultra. If Exynos was just as good, why not put it in everything? Of course, we won't know for sure until we've compared both phones side by side, so you'll have to wait till our real-world test and review. But the split is worth noting. The Ultra also gets a redesigned vapor chamber for better heat management, which matters when you're gaming for an hour or exporting a long video. These are the stuff that usually makes phones throttle. Let's address this. Battery sizes are the same as last year across the board. Some of you might remember in our Galaxy S25 Edge video last year, I mentioned that Samsung was rumored to be bringing silicon carbon battery technology to the S26 series. Bigger batteries in thinner phones. This is the same tech that brands like Oppo and Vivo have been using for a while now. Sadly, that didn't happen. It's the same capacities, the same lithium-ion batteries. It's not a deal breaker, but it is a missed opportunity, especially when the competition has moved way past this. The Oppo Find X9 Pro, for example, has a 7,500 mAh battery, and there are even phones out right now with 10,000 mAh. Samsung is still sitting at 5,000. Of course, capacity isn't everything, so we'll let you know how battery life is really like in the real world. The one bright spot, charging, but only on the Ultra. The phone now supports up to 60-watt super fast charging. This comes with good and bad news. The good news, you're going to get a fast charging cable in the box. The bad news, you'll still need to pick up a 60-watt charger if you don't have one already. Now let's talk about cameras, and I'm gonna keep this section short because, say it with me, the proof is in the photos. On paper, not much has changed. Same megapixel counts as last year, same sensor lineup. But look closer. Samsung widened the apertures. The main camera goes from f1.7 to f1.4, and the telephoto from f3.4 to f2.9. Now, what does that mean for you? More light hitting the sensor, better low-light photos, without relying as much on software to clean things up. Speaking of which, nightography also gets an upgrade. The new processor proactively reduces noise, so your night shots come out cleaner and sharper. The S26 and S26 Plus keep more modest camera setups. It's the same hardware as last year, but with more likely better photos thanks to software improvements. For video creators, the S26 Ultra gets APV, or Advanced Professional Video. It lets you shoot 8K at 30 frames per second with virtually lossless quality, meaning you can edit the footage over and over without it degrading. There's also Super Steady Video, which uses real-time gyro data to automatically level your footage, up to 360 degrees of correction. So let's pretend I'm on the slopes trying to zigzag down the mountain, be a little bit extra. And then now let's preview the shot. Wow, look how smooth that is. As someone who shoots a lot of handheld video with my phone while traveling, this was definitely a feature that I was excited to test out. Selfies also get some love. Samsung is calling it Advanced Selfie. The AI now adjusts for different skin tones and textures regardless of lighting conditions. So group selfies where everyone has different complexions should look more natural. Perfect, because that basically describes my friend group, and you can be sure that once we get our hands on our phone, we'll be taking tons of selfies together. We'll put it to the test with a full camera comparison soon, but like I said, the proof is in the photos, so watch this space. Like the last two generations, the biggest story when it comes to the S26 series is AI. And this year, Samsung is going all in. Here are the features that stood out to me. First, Now Nudge. This is Samsung's take on proactive intelligence. The phone reads what you're doing and offers suggestions in real time. Someone texts you, "Are you free February 25th for dinner?" It'll suggest pulling up your calendar. It sounds small, but if it works the way Samsung says it will, that's a lot of tapping that you'll never have to do again. Circle to Search can now recognize multiple objects at once, so if you see someone on the street wearing an outfit you love, circle the whole look and it'll identify the bag, the shoes, the jacket all separately. As a fashion guy, this is a feature that really excited me, so I made sure to test it out with my own outfit. And yes, Bixby got a major upgrade. Samsung says it actually understands natural conversation now. We'll see. Beyond that, Audio Eraser now works on third-party apps. There is a new document scanner that handles multiple page scans with less distortion, something I'd love to come to my iPhone. Your screenshots now get automatically organized into categories, and then there's call screening, similar to what Google Pixel has, where AI answers unknown numbers for you and gives you a transcript before you pick up. None of these are headline features, but the kind that will make your phone seem smarter over time. All right, let's talk about pricing and availability. All three phones come in the same four colors: cobalt violet, sky blue, black, and white, with silver shadow and pink gold available as online exclusives at Samsung.com. The S26 Ultra still comes with an S Pen. Okay, S Pen as a shutter button. Does it work? Nope. Pre-orders are live now, and if you've already decided, make sure to use our links so you get the best deal possible. It helps support the channel and doesn't cost you anything extra. The Samsung Galaxy S26 series will be available March 11th and start at $899.99, $1099.99, and $1299.99 for the Samsung Galaxy S26, S26 Plus, and S26 Ultra. So, is the Galaxy S26 series your gadget match? Too soon. I will have to live with the phone for a couple of weeks to really be able to answer that, but here is where I stand after day one. The privacy display is genuinely cool, the camera upgrades are subtle but smart, and the thinner, lighter design feels good in the hand. But the battery situation is a missed opportunity. The Exynos split raises questions, and going from titanium back to aluminum on a phone at this price, I need to sit with that. Did Samsung push forward, or did they play it safe? Honestly, it's a little bit of both. I have a month on the road with 4 more launches ahead of me, and maybe by the end of all of that, it'll be a little more clear to me. And that was our first look at the Samsung Galaxy S26 series. Which of these phones do you think you'll be picking up? Let me know down below. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so that you get notified as soon as we post new videos. Follow me on social media for all the behind-the-scenes fun, travel, and fashion. And for news and updates, make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. From here in San Francisco, I'm Michael Josh. Thanks for dropping by.